On a recent day in Tehran, the capital city of Iran, loud explosions suddenly shook the ground and filled the sky with smoke. These were not just accidents, These were carefully planned attacks. The explosions happened near very important places, including military bases and buildings where scientists work on Iran's nuclear program. People in the city were very surprised and scared by the sudden noise and the sight of smoke rising over their homes. It was a very tense and confusing moment for everyone living there, as they tried to understand what was happening to their country and why they were being targeted in such a big way. The country that did this was Israel. For a long time, Israel has been worried about Iran's nuclear program. They believe Iran is trying to build a nuclear bomb, which Israel sees as a very big threat to its safety. So Israel decided to launch these attacks to slow down Iran's progress. The strikes were very precise, meaning they were aimed at specific targets. It was a bold move, one that shows how serious the situation has become between these two nations, and it has made the whole world pay close attention to what might happen next in the Middle East. The main targets of the attack were not just buildings, but also very important people. One of the most famous people reported to have been killed was General Mohammad Bagheri. He was the highest-ranking military official in all of Iran, the chief of staff of the armed forces. Imagine, it's like the top general of a whole country being taken out. Aside from him, several of Iran's top nuclear scientists were also targeted and killed. These scientists were the brains behind Iran's nuclear work, so losing them is a major setback for the country's plans and a huge blow to their national pride. This event is a very big deal because it is a direct attack on Iran's leadership and its most sensitive programs. It is what people call an escalation, which means the fighting has become much more serious. Before, the two countries would fight in more secret ways, but this was a very open and powerful strike right in Iran's capital city. It sends a strong message from Israel that they are willing to take big risks to stop Iran's nuclear ambitions. Now, everyone is worried that this will start a much bigger and more dangerous war that could affect many other countries. After the attacks, Iran's most powerful leader, the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, made a very strong promise to the world. He said that Iran would get its revenge and that Israel would face severe punishment for what it did. This is a very serious threat coming from the highest authority in the country. When a leader says something like this, everyone listens because it means they are planning to strike back. His words have made the entire region very nervous, as people wait to see what form this punishment will take and how strong it will be. In response to the threat, Iran's military is now on its highest alert. This means all soldiers, planes, and missile systems are ready to fight at any moment. They have also closed the main airport in Tehran, the Imam Khomeini International Airport, to all flights. This is to protect civilian planes from getting caught in any fighting and to make sure the military can use the airspace freely. These actions show that Iran is not just talking, they are actively preparing for a possible war. The country is now like a coiled spring, ready to jump into action at the first command. Meanwhile, Israel is also getting ready for Iran's response. They know that after making such a public threat, Iran will likely try to attack them. So, Israel is preparing for different kinds of attacks, especially from missiles and drones. Drones are like small remote-controlled planes that can carry bombs. Israel has a very strong air defense system, like the famous Iron Dome, which is designed to shoot down incoming rockets and missiles. They are making sure these systems are all working perfectly and are ready to protect their cities and people from whatever Iran might send their way. The United States, which is a powerful friend of Israel, has also spoken about the situation. Top officials, like Secretary of State Marco Rubio, have made it clear that the US was not part of the strikes on Tehran. They said that Israel acted all by itself, or unilaterally. This is an important statement because it tells Iran and the rest of the world that the American military was not involved. The US is trying to avoid being dragged into a direct war with Iran, even though it supports Israel's security. They are watching very carefully, hoping the conflict does not grow even bigger. The conflict between Iran and Israel is not a new thing. It has been going on for many, many years. The main reason for the fighting today is Iran's nuclear program. Israel and many Western countries, like the United States, are afraid that Iran is secretly trying to build nuclear weapons. Iran says its program is only for peaceful purposes, like creating electricity. But because they have not always been open with international inspectors, many countries do not believe them. Israel feels especially threatened because some Iranian leaders have said in the past that Israel should be destroyed. So the idea of Iran with a nuclear bomb is their worst nightmare. This situation became even more tense just recently. An international group called the International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, officially criticized Iran for not cooperating with them. In response, Iran announced that it would speed up its nuclear work. They said they would build a new place to enrich uranium and use better machines to do it faster. Uranium is the material needed to make nuclear fuel, but if it is enriched to a very high level, it can be used for a bomb. Iran is already enriching uranium to 60% purity, which is very close to the 90% needed for a weapon. This long-standing fight has seen many dangerous moments. Just last year, in 2024, Iran launched 2 big missile and drone attacks directly at Israel. It was the first time Iran had ever attacked Israel from its own soil. This was a huge step, and it showed that their shadow war was coming out into the open. The recent strikes by Israel in Tehran are seen by many as a response to those earlier attacks and to Iran's continued nuclear progress. Each side's actions make the other side angrier, leading to a cycle of attack and revenge that is very difficult to stop. The tension is also connected to other conflicts in the Middle East. For example, Iran supports groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza, who are enemies of Israel. The long and tragic war in Gaza, which started in October 2023, has made things much worse. Iran sees itself as a protector of the Palestinians and has condemned Israel's actions there. This wider conflict involving different groups and countries makes the situation very complicated. The fighting is not just between two countries. It is a web of alliances and rivalries that can easily pull the whole region into a larger war. The big question now is what Iran will do to make good on its promise of severe punishment. Will they launch a massive missile attack on Israeli cities? Or will they try to attack Israeli targets in other countries? Another possibility is that they could order the groups they support, like Hezbollah, to attack Israel. Iran's defense minister has even warned that all US military bases in the region could become targets if the United States gets involved. This makes the situation very unpredictable and dangerous, as any move could lead to a full-blown war that would be devastating for everyone involved. For the ordinary people living in Iran, this is a very scary time. Even before these attacks, life was already hard for many because of economic problems. International sanctions have made prices for food and other goods very high. Despite this, news reports say that people are trying to stay calm and are not panicking in the streets. They are following the news very closely, hoping that their leaders can find a peaceful solution and avoid a terrible war. They have already been through so much, and the last thing they want is more conflict and suffering. This story is important for the whole world, not just for the Middle East. A war between Iran and Israel could affect everyone. It could disrupt the global supply of oil, which comes from this region, making gas prices go up everywhere. It could also lead to a wider conflict that pulls in other powerful countries, like the United States, Russia, and China. That is why leaders from all over the globe are calling for calm and are trying to prevent the situation from getting worse. They are encouraging both sides to step back and talk instead of fight. What happens in the coming days and weeks will be very critical. The world is holding its breath, watching to see if diplomacy can win or if the drums of war will get louder. The decisions made in Tehran, Tel Aviv, and Washington will shape the future of the entire region. Will the leaders choose a path of de-escalation, where they calm things down? Or will they choose a path of retaliation that leads to more violence? This is why this news is on the front page of every newspaper, as the fate of millions of people hangs in the balance.
الان
نهار بشه و همونطور که
So hit that subscribe and ring that bell too, for history's wonders waiting for you. brilliant works, let the knowledge ignite, exploring the past with all of our